Damn, Ingenious made the beat? Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Coach Life Podcast Radio. I'm, of course, your host, the Prince of Positivity, Coach Steve. Joined with me, as always, my co-pilot, the dime dropper, Coach Luna. How we doing, Brody?
Blessed, man. Excited to go ahead and have another pod with us. Got a special guest today. A different guest, because usually we always have somebody with some type of giant sport background. But this time we got a little surprise for y'all who we have with us today.
Absolutely. Extremely excited about this one because this one gonna hit home for a couple people. I love this one. Definitely love this one. CEO, founder of the Coach Life Podcast and brand about building your brand. Coach Wash, how we doing, Brody?
Man, blessed and highly favored. Hey, it's a beautiful day, like every day. We fortunate to be here. I'm excited for these gems, these jewels, this background, this testimony that we're about to get, and yeah, we're gonna be blessed by it, and hopefully we bless everybody else.
Absolutely. Again, I don't even want to waste any time. I got a ton of questions. I know Luna got a ton of questions. I know that everybody got a ton of questions, at least people that are excited about this podcast or that will listen to this podcast, and they'll immediately be excited. Again, director and producer of World Travels, Mr. Coach Kolyn Boyd. How we doing, Brody?
I'm all right, man. How you guys doing?
Man, blessed and highly favored. As Coach Wash said, man, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule because, sir, you have a very booked schedule. Based on what you do day in, based on what we've seen and what we briefly have talked about, you have a very busy schedule. So we thank you for taking that time out of your schedule to come talk to us because I think we're going to learn a lot from a production standpoint, from a just an overall podcast standpoint for anybody that's looking to do a pod, that's anybody that's looking to do anything in that facet, or anybody that's looking to just start something and push through whatever comes their way right now. I think this is going to be a real powerful one for everybody. So, Coach Boyd, before we get into the nitty gritty, before we get into all the nitty gritty, we are the director and producer of World Travels. Before we get into that piece, can you tell the people that are listening right now, our Coach Life fam out there, what essentially what the World Travels, world is essentially, and how did you get that started?
So World Travel TV is it's a travel show. It's an unscripted travel show. Where me and my lady, we travel around the world, speaking about the past, present, and future of different locations, and basically bridging the gap between different communities, different people, different backgrounds, and just kind of showing people in the United States that people of color travel, that we do this, and we do it at a high level. And it also has a deeper meaning for me. What I find is that, a lot of people have a negative connotation of people of color in America. And when they get a chance to meet me in these different locations, they get a chance to meet a good guy, a nice guy, a driven guy, a focused person. And I like to be a good representation of us in these different locations while telling their story.
I so love that because you're giving a different perspective for a lot of people that don't have that same type of touch or may not have been around a lot of us, right?
Right.
Absolutely. So I have a rapid fire round that we're gonna put you through really quick. For those who don't know a little bit about you, I'm gonna throw 5 questions at you. Just give me your quick answer for each one of these. This should be fairly easy. I'm pretty sure you know yourself. So
okay.
So first question, what's the first country you ever visited?
First country, Mexico.
Nice.
Yeah, with the Mexico. Mexico was my first one. Went to Tulum went to Tulum before everybody went to Tulum too. No, everybody go to Tulum
Before it
now.
got
Before
popular,
IG
right?
It got
took
crazy.
over.
Yeah, I was one of the first people in Tulum, and it really was a good time. And that kind of like that's travel bug bit me after that. I was like, oh, we got to go, everywhere now.
Was it a reason why you picked that particular place, or was there any other reason why you
Well,
decided to
no,
go to Tulum?
so my lady, she loves to travel. I'm from Beaumont. We country boys. We don't really go anywhere but Louisiana. And I went to Ohio one time. She was like, "Man, I want to go to Mexico. I'm getting a new job. I want to get all my days out before I start this new job. Let's go to Mexico." So I'm like, "Hey, let's go to Mexico." So I got a passport and we went to Mexico, and I was like, "Whoa, like this is crazy." The food was amazing. The people were nice. Getting a chance to see different beaches and stuff like that. And it was a good experience for me.
Nice. Dream destination. What's the dream destination right now that's still on the bucket list that you have not traveled to yet?
Italy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Heard so many good things about Italy.
Italy. I'm going to go this year. Watch. It's happening this year. Yeah.
I want to see that I want to see it on the show, bro. I want to
It's
see
going
that
to
on the show for sure.
Yeah, it's coming season 2. Season 2 is about to be crazy. Like it's gonna
Don't
be
give up. Don't give
Say
it away yet. Don't give it away
yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
Favorite travel snack.
Oh, favorite travel snack. My favorite travel snack.
Think about your
So
airlines.
so I can't really answer that because when you go to different places, they don't have the same snacks. But Biscoff cookies on Delta flights. Yeah. Yeah.
Can't miss with those.
You
The
can't
little graham crackers too.
Yeah,
I think that's Southwest. Southwest having
Yep. I'm not gonna lie. I always ask for an extra one.
Yeah. Make that a double.
Exactly, please. What's one travel item that you cannot live without?
A watch. Yeah.
Most adventurous thing that we have ever eaten.
Well,
I
had well in Iceland. They brought me to a back room. And it's a guy, he owned the hotel. We kicked it off. His name Frederick. And he's this dude. I'm gonna gotta tell you a story about this dude, but me and Frederick, we kicked it off. He was like, "Come meet me for lunch," and inside the town, because this hotel was outside the town. And he was like, Lindsay was sitting at the table, and he was like, "Come with me." So we go in this back room, and he got some a steak well prepared for me, and we ate well right there.
Please tell me how this tastes, because
it was like just the fat on the steak, though. Yeah. Yeah. It was like a fatty steak, a super fatty steak.
So like tuna?
No, it was good. You season anything. Old boy, the NFL right now, he seasoned a raccoon. So you put a little seasoning on.
That boy say he skinned the whole squirrel.
Right. He seasoned it right, and it was good.
I don't know if I could do well. But again, like you said, if you season it right, you might be able to do it. So.
But you done had coon though, right?
Of course.
And you can't eat a whale? That's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's wild. Coon eating out the trash can, a whale eating
whatever's in the ocean.
Whatever those, right. That is crazy.
I like shark. You had shark?
Oh, yeah. Have I had shark? No, I haven't had shark.
Shark is real.
Shark is good.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of good things about shark. I was watching this dude. It's a show that has Catch, Clean, and Cook, and he was filleting a shark the other day. And the meat, I know fish. I used to be a novice chef in my kitchen, but he was cutting the shark, and it was white meat fish. White meat fish is really amazing.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to go back on one of the answers you said something about Beaumont. Mm-hmm. For our listeners that aren't from Texas, aren't familiar with Beaumont, tell us a little bit about BMT.
Beaumont, we produce a lot of talented people, and So Beaumont is southeast of Houston. It's a town of about 250,000 people. It's an oil town. This town was founded on oil in probably late 1800s. It's called Spindletop. Anyway, and if you fast forward to today, Beaumont is a dying town because we're moving away from oil. But Beaumont has made me who I am today. I've had to go through a lot of hard times in Beaumont just growing up because it's a violent environment. People are going to test you. And I think it kind of prepared me for life, being from Beaumont. So Beaumont is a great place if you know how to navigate these streets.
I'm about to say, let's add that caveat on
Exactly.
I'm about to say, man, I've been to Beaumont. I hope he finished that sentence different. If you know how to navigate.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So that leads me to another question. When we talk about your upbringing right now, like how has your upbringing kind of shaped like who you are today? And again, being in a rougher territory, I mean, you gotta obviously, like you said, you gotta know how to handle yourself.
Well, yeah, I mean, it kind of prepares me to be, being from Beaumont, like I've dealt with so much, it's downhill from here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I can really go into any conversation, any meeting, and I look across the table and I say, I've been through tougher times than this. I can deal with this situation. I can deal with, I don't know if you guys saw, I was $100,000 in debt for creating this show. I've been through tougher times than this. I've been in Beaumont. I've been, living with friends. I've been having to figure out what I'm eating Zumo sausages every day, making sugar bread, all kind of stuff. And so being from Beaumont has literally prepared me and forged me into a man that is ready for anything.
I love that, man. I love that. When did you like develop your love for travel? Was it in your childhood, or did you kind of develop that once you met your spouse?
Yeah, I developed it when I met her. She wanted to travel, and I was like, I'm just trying to make this girl happy. This what she want to do. So let's go. It was a funny story because she was like, we had moved to Denver, and she was like, man, I want to go to Iceland. I'm like, we can leave it cold to go to cold. But yeah, I was traveling with her, and I was just meeting different people because that's one thing what I like to do. I like to meet people. I like to talk to people. I like to learn from people. And that is the ultimate playground for a person like myself, is traveling the world and meeting different people and learning about their culture and learning about the history. I'm a closet. I told Luna this. I said I'm a closet history buff. I'm into history. I love to find out, why you guys, why is the city set up like this? Why do you guys say these different words? When I went to London for the first time, and I spent a lot of time in New York because Lindsay's from New York, I started comparing the two. London is just like New York. The subways, the stops on the subway are literally just like New York. The different terminologies they use in New York, I forget the exact ones, but like we can look them up. But they use the same terminologies in the way they speak. And I tell them that, and New Yorkers get mad about it. But I'm like, y'all just London people.
That's why New Yorkers love going to London, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
So what was the early career ambitions before, launching World of Travel TV?
Okay, yeah. So World of Travel, that's a really cool story. So living in Beaumont, you see what you see. You're only as good as your experiences, I think. And so what I wanted to do, of course, when I was a kid, was be a professional athlete. That didn't happen. So, and I kind of realized early I probably wasn't going to be a professional athlete. So, what else did I see? The guy across the street was a chemical engineer. Guy across the street from my mom's house. And I asked him what he did because he cut my hair one day, and I was like, "What do you do?" Because he had a nice house, he had an old school in the back, he had a wife, a truck. He said, "I'm a chemical engineer." So bam, I started running around telling everybody, I'm gonna be a chemical engineer. That's what I'm gonna do. And I, went to school for it, and found out, that wasn't what I wanted to do. And plus, my path took me on a whole different direction. So I wanted to be a chemical engineer before I landed into uh, being in insurance. Yeah.
So moving into insurance, how quickly did you determine that this may not be what I really wanted to do?
So I got an insurance. So insurance is crazy. Like, so when I got insurance, I became an adjuster. I don't know if you guys are familiar with independent adjusters.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I was making a shit ton of, can I cuss?
This your world.
Yeah.
Bro.
Okay,
This your
okay.
world.
This your
All
world.
right. All right. I was making a shit ton of money. I was making like 30 grand a month, killing it, doing it big.
Hmm?
But I wasn't fulfilled. You know, I didn't
Mm.
feel like, you know, this was the end all be all for me. It just didn't, like, I would have conversations with people and I would almost be embarrassed to say I was I'm not a chemical engineer, but an independent adjuster. Because a lot of people don't know what type of money we make, or it's not a prestigious job, or, you know, it's just my creative spirit wasn't being all the way filled. Because I would get on the phone, I would help people with problems, which I did. Like, I was talking to people still and being able to learn their stories, but it wasn't just fulfilling for me. So yeah, I gave that up. I literally quit cold turkey, and used my money and invested into our show. Started buying equipment, you know, bought a house, and just straight up went cold turkey on insurance. And I started getting on YouTube and also aligning myself with people in the production industry and just being a sponge. Because I didn't have enough money, because production costs a lot of money and you have to, you know, it's a lot of things you have to put on, you have to do yourself. So I wore the hat as a director. I wore the hat as a cinematographer. I wore the hat as a producer, a writer, you know, a salesman, all the above. And I just researched until my eyes were red when I wasn't playing Call of Duty with Luna.
You know, there's a lot. There's a lot to what you just said, man.
Yes.
But there's a part in that because you make it seem so easy, but I know that there was a lot more to it. There was something that internally gave you a vision of what you wanted to create. Because for somebody out there, making $30,000 a month ain't something that they just want to drop cold turkey. But like you said, you visited Tulum and you just felt something. What led to that vision that said, I'm going to leave this job and I'm going to start this journey of becoming everything, all those hats that you just mentioned? How did you even get to that point to say, yeah, that's the direction I'm going?
Well, it was there were signs. The signs were so COVID happened and everybody wanted to do production. Everybody wanted a podcast, everybody wanted a show. And I was already had a foot in it because I had started World of Travel and I had a cooking show at the time. It was called Kolyn's Kitchen.
I remember Kolyn's Kitchen.
Yes. And I was learning how to edit. I was doing all the stuff, just learning, preparing myself. That was a part of preparation, just doing, you know, because you gotta kind of make your lifestyle what you want to do. So I was just, you know, inching my way into it. And I was creating podcasts for people. I had created a few different podcasts, created studios. That's why I literally fabricate studios for folks. And this guy named Garnett March, who was the president of Interscope, reached out. And he wanted me to be a producer for him and his in-house production company. And he loved World of Travel. So he gave me some money to license World of Travel. And he also paid me a monthly, he paid me monthly to be his production company. And when the dollar size came, that was the size.
That'll do it.
I said, okay, we can make money now. So, you know, let's figure out how to take this on another level because, you know, I've made the money, but I had never made that much money in one sitting. I usually had to put the work in, but the work was already done. And so I kind of looked at it in a different, I was like, yo, there's no ceiling on this. You can kind of go, because I really just started this and I'm already making money. So that was the sign. And that's kind of led me into the pivot of, taking 2 steps back to take 5 steps forward.
Man, you know, I
That's
a
powerful.
couple things. Man, it's powerful, but there's a couple things again. Like Luna said, there's a lot to unpack in what you said in the last 2 minutes, right? One of the things that you said that definitely hit home, and I had to write this down, was money doesn't buy happiness.
Yeah.
And when you said again, making 30,000, $30,000 a month, for some of us that hear that kind of money, a lot of people will just suck it up and say, well, I'm at least making 30,000 a month. I don't feel fulfilled, but I'm at least making 30,000. So I'm just gonna stick it out and
Yeah.
be unhappy making that kind of money. And the fact that you just, like you said a few minutes ago, take those 2 steps backwards, take those 3 steps forward, take 5 steps forward. Like, I don't see you taking 5 steps anymore, bro. Like, these are leaps and bounds you taking right now with what you're doing right now. So for someone that, is thinking about, making that transition for themselves, can you kind of give us some behind the scenes insight to how are you producing a show? How are you producing a show? Like what does it really take to do what you're doing on a day to day?
So you have to come up with let's just start from the top. You need to come up with an idea. And then you need to once you come up with that idea, you need to think about it in your head, how the idea is going to look. And we'll just talk about where to travel. We came up with an idea. We reached out to people in different countries and figured out how we could work with them. You need to figure out what the budget's going to take to get this done. And you really just need to hit the ground. Don't think about what you're doing, just do it. And so I started off with my phone. I had my phone. That's what I had. And I was embarrassed to have my phone. And I filmed my phone. And I saved, I got my money together and I bought a little camera. And, you got to just kind of hit the ground and start learning your mistakes. If you're starting from where I'm from,
Right.
of not knowing anything, some people might have production background. I didn't. And so I just started filming. And then once you have, your filming done, you need to write. You need to write a script. And your script has to tell the story. You have to do pre-production. And pre-production is basically find a story arc, a story ending, and a story beginning. And then you take that, you take it to the cutting room, and you cut up your film. Editing, going through rounds of edits until you get a product that you're happy with. And then you take that product to networks, channels, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you shop it to them. And when you shop it to them, you have to find out, this is stuff literally stuff I went through. You can't just shop a show to any channel. You have to research the channels and make sure it aligns with their company goals. Each channel has a company goal. National Geographic, you know what you're going to find. VH1, you know what you're going to find. NBC, you know what you're going to find. And so you have to align your shows or your ideas and approach it with a strategic way of doing things, and then take it to them and say, hey, you guys need content. I have it. Let's work together.
So when you're putting all that, and this is a one-man show, you doing this is you doing all of this work, right?
Yo, this is what happened. Yeah, it's a one. Well, it's Lindsay. I can't take it all the credit. So
Of course.
yeah, I don't want to take all the credit. That's not what I want to do. But it's a 2-man show. And my lady, she is a intricate part of our show. So a little background on Lindsay. Lindsay is a TV host. She's been on The View. She's been on Daily Blast Live. And she is a workhorse, like for real. And iron sharpens iron. So we in here
Absolutely.
we in here just sharpening each other up.
Love
But
it.
and really just trying to do something legendary and trying to do something that our kid will be proud about and that she can have and take and pass down. Because that's one thing about uh, videos and movies is it's just the same as money. So I looked at it totally different now because when you creating these podcasts, you now have a cachet of podcasts that you could take to a network, and you got to make sure they're evergreen and sell it to them or license it to them, and they can license for a year or two, and then you take it back and then you license to another person. And this is money. This is literally money in hand. This is equity.
So when you talk about the world of travel TV, how do you and Lindsay come up with like the different places that you guys want to travel? How do you pick those particular places that you want to put on the show or not?
Well, prior to we were just going to places that we liked. Um, and now we came up with a different business model because our show has taken on another level, and I bring a crew with me, producers and camera guys. And so we kind of, we're at a different level now. People invite us out. And so now we go to places that people want us to come to and want us to tell the story. And it has to align with the type of things that we have. It has to have a past, present, and future.
Right.
Just recently, I just did South Africa, and we
Oh,
talked about the apartheid. We talk about gold and diamond mining, which is the past, to today, where apartheid has, been gone for 30 years, and how South Africa is a place where, um, a lot the world could learn from the way they treated apartheid and the way they owned up to it and the way they talk about it. Walking around South Africa, people would, be very open about the difficulties they had in the past. And in America, we kind of shoo or we don't talk about, our
mhm.
past. But they were totally different. Like they were in each other's face. They approach color in a much different way.
For those who don't know what that looks like, or like approaching color, and I'm approaching color in a different way, break that down a little bit more. Like, what experience did that give you and Lindsay when you guys were going out to these different places? Like, and they're openly talking about a lot of the, systemic racism that they've encountered, like, how did, like, break that down a little bit more? Like, what does that conversation kind of look like?
It would be like, sometimes I have trouble with like speaking about, that's a white, I wouldn't be like, that's a white person in front of a
Right,
white,
right.
being from the South. I have a hard time doing that. I wouldn't, I would cringe about somebody saying that's a black person, a white person saying that to me. They are like, yo, the white guy, like over there. Or, the way they openly talk about, the things that happened
Mhm.
and how, what happened. And white people are like, yeah, we did that and we're sorry about it. Just coming out and saying that is
Mhm.
super powerful, because what's happening currently in the United States is we're trying to erase the history and we're trying to coddle and make people feel comfortable. And I think the easiest way to being comfortable is addressing the issue and going through the issue. Um, and we're trying to find ways to scurry around it.
You see that quite a bit in a lot of cases. I heard something on IG a little while ago that was and I'm definitely gonna misquote what she said. Um, but in a sense, it was um, in America, people try to tell black people, like, don't forget about that. That, like, yeah, that happened. That happened a long time ago. Don't worry about it anymore. But then when we talk about like 9/11 and all this other stuff, we say never forget.
Right. That's
Like,
crazy.
right? It just seems
Selective rage.
mad backwards to me, and I'm pretty sure mad backwards to a lot of us, right?
Right.
So that kind of leads me to another question for you. How do you balance like your show to show like the beauty of the destination that you're going to, while also addressing these kind of issues, and those global issues and cultural preservation?
Yeah. So when I took a pivot, because at first our show was just following Lindsay and myself around, and we were doing cool things. And when I pivot to going into a deeper story, it became really difficult to do that. And so that's when I kind of had to put on my director hat even more and go into applications like it's called Milanote. And you kind of have to come up with a storyboard. You have to write. So remember I told you we do production afterwards and write the story. Now I write the story before. And I've also extended the show because it has to breathe and you have to allow time to talk about these certain things without offending anyone. Because you want to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, but you don't want to offend anybody by just combing over their bad. And a lot of times when I go to these different countries, they want to talk about the stuff that has happened, but they also want you to highlight how beautiful this place is, and where they are today. And that's how we kind of talk about, the past, talking about that ugly past, great past too, but also talking about how beautiful this country is today, and where they're going as a country in the future.
Love that. I love that. And the fact that you guys take your daughter with you.
I know.
To go and visit some of these places, like you giving her an experience that a lot of us as adults don't get a chance to have. And not only that we don't get a chance to have that, like just the perspective that she's gonna have, that's gonna be vastly different than anybody else because of the touch that she's had with all these different places she's traveled to. I think that's just dope, bro.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm already seeing it in her behavior. Like, and I really have got to keep her humble because I don't want it to turn into,
like I go everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, what are you saying? I'm everywhere, anywhere, anytime now.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that type of person. But I'm trying to keep her humble. But yes, she's like, she's not in the book. She's in the place. You know what I mean? And she's able to touch and feel and experience. She loves the plane. A lot of people kids on the plane, they crying. I was scared. First time I got on the plane, I was 18 years old. And I was terrified to get on the plane. This girl, she's like looking at the plane and saying, "Oh, that's Nana. That's grandma." She looks at it like, "Oh, I can go see my family. I can go do cool things. It's a fun time. It's a fun experience to get on the plane." And then I know we're going somewhere cool. And so I just love to see her eyes light up and learn on the fly, and we look at the map and we point out different places we've been to. And it's just a cool experience for me and her, something that we share.
Do you guys have like a map or like something like a world map on the wall where you kind of have like pinpoints of all the places you've traveled to?
I want to do that, but but like I'm literally still getting my house. I've been in this house for 3 years, and I'm still, we're never here. Like we literally, so
right, always traveling.
Yeah, we're always traveling. So I want to do that, and eventually I will. But like we went in South Africa for 25 days, and then we were in Houston for 20 days, and I've been here for a week, and I painted underneath my island yesterday, so I'm happy about that.
got something done right now.
Yeah, I got something done. Yeah.
So again, just being able to take your family with you on an amazing journey, right? I know you were at South Africa for 25 days. I know you get a chance to, kind of, experience the culture and also experience, working. How do you balance the professional and personal portion of, the trip?
So and it took time because we were overworking, because they say this is what Capricorns do. Capricorns overwork. We just work. Everything in life is folded into work. And so I have to like stop myself, and Lindsay gets mad because I'm like, "Oh, we got to get this done. We got to, we got to stay on top of this." So what I started doing was, before we get to location, 2 days, we get 2 days before we start working, and we put our bags down for a day, and then we relax for a day, and then we go to work, and then on the back end of the trip, we take about 3 days just to relax as well. Yeah, and so that's what we do.
That's cool.
And a lot of people ask that, the work, when you're doing something you love, it goes back to what I was talking about. when you're doing something you love, it don't feel like work to me. I'm in South Africa, running around with my camera,
With your family.
with my family. I got my family with me. It's not work to me. Again, I'm from Beaumont. I'm from the country.
Mhm.
I've been, this ain't work, man. There's people doing crazy stuff out here, bro. There's people shoveling shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
I get the opportunity to do something really cool, so I could never sit here and complain about what I'm doing. You know what I mean? That's crazy to me.
that's super powerful, bro. And I'm glad you took it there, because that was already leading to the question I had in my head. And how do you turn your passion into that business or that profit? Or how do you turn your passion into that, especially when you it's everything, kind of like how you talk about with your pre-show, how your vision of what you want is literally just writing right now. It's just there, but you have no idea how to apply. I don't know how to put the action to it. Like, what are the steps that you took? What steps did you take to finally this is especially even when you had to change the stance of what you were actually going with. That takes a
Mhm.
lot of retrospect, and a lot of like taking some coaching, because I'm sure maybe it did just dawn upon you, but maybe somebody else came to you and said, hey, gave you some advice, and you were like, you know what, you're right.
Yeah, I would take it back to you know, pretty sure everybody had played football before, but like I take it back to I could use it as a football terminology what I learned from my coach. Don't think, just react. You know, just make the move. You can't think about the move. If you think about the move, you're too late. And so I literally just react to what's in front of me, and I make the right move. And if I don't make the right move, I take 2 steps back and I do it again.
Just learn. Just keep learning on the fly.
Learning.
Just keep
Yep.
learning on the fly.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest lesson that you think your daughter has learned with all of the travel and all the experiences that she's had over the course of, the success of your business?
Oh man, my daughter. So she knows she's 3. She's 3 years old. So let's see.
True.
Yeah, she's 3. So what has Kinsley learned? Um, you know what? I'll tell you what she's learned. And I think it's just about her sitting, being around her mom and myself, is anything is possible.
Dang.
Yeah, anything is possible. And I could see, and everybody says that, like, yo, I'm scared of Kinsley. When Kinsley's gonna be 20, we're gonna be hearing about this girl. And her, like, it's like literally you can see it, like the possibilities are endless. Her imagination. Because you only can imagine what you can imagine, I mean,
Right.
what you've already experienced. And so like just her, different things that come out of her mouth, where she wants to go, what she wants to do. She's always in character. Right now she's Arlette from what's the I forget the show called. It's one of the cartoons she likes to watch. But right now she wears a costume every day and she's Arlette. And her imagination is like, yo, I'm really Arlette. I could do this. I got powers. You don't know. I fly. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And so what she learned is anything is possible.
I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that because we have grown men and women out there
Yeah.
that don't feel that same way about their own life, right? Like that
Yeah.
they feel like they're, kind of boxed into, whatever it is that they're doing day in and day out.
Yeah.
And just for her to have that opportunity to see the vastness that's out there for everybody,
Yeah.
right? Like this is not just for one person. Like anybody can go out there, like you said, and go and do it.
Right.
But a lot of us live in that fear where we don't necessarily want to do it because that's scary. Step out
Yeah.
on faith that this is actually going to work for you.
And also, like, you don't have to take your kid to South Africa to make them feel like this.
Yep.
Um, you know, if I would have never went and did all this stuff, I had confidence before I became a director. I had confidence before I was traveling the world. I've always been a confident person, and my confidence came from my parents. My dad would be like, Kolyn, you have a phonographic memory. You can remember anything. You know how smart you are. He was just like, it's like literally in the dialogue that you have with your kids. And my mom would be like, oh man, you so good looking. Like, you know, it's like saying things like, oh, you have dreamy eyes. You could just instill confidence into your children. You don't have to travel the world. You know, you can literally just say, hey, you know, you can read that book and become a doctor. You can read that book and have all the powers you want.
Yeah.
In life.
In life.
Yeah, speaking life into people and
Exactly.
believing it.
Yeah.
I so love that. Like I said, man, that's just an awesome, awesome experience that, again, a lot of us don't get a chance to. And just even going to like the next town over, like we take that for granted, you know,
Right.
like just those type of deals. Like we do take a lot of that stuff for granted. Like I said, you're doing it on a massive level.
Yeah. I actually want to take you know, I was just thinking, because I've heard this from different channels that the show is too lavish. And so what I want to do is I want to take people on the Bible Belt, you know, from Texas to North Carolina.
Yeah.
Because people don't know, yo, some of the best foods you can get is right there in Louisiana. You could go to Italy. Italy's cool, but you can also go to Lake Charles. You can also go to Lake Charles.
It gonna look as nice.
They gonna look
But
nice.
that food
That food gonna hit. That food gonna hit. That's that like for a foodie, that's paradise.
Okay, so now I gotta ask. You've gone to a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best place that you've had food from?
Oh, it's got to be either South France or Greece.
My
heard a lot
buddy,
about Greece.
yes, my
Going to
buddy just
Greece
got
this
back
summer.
from Greece.
You're going to tell me more.
My
Yo, that
buddy
Greece will hit
just
different.
got back. He said it's amazing. The food is just insane. Please tell the fans out there and us who have not. I haven't been to Greece. Coach Wash is going to Greece, but we haven't gone to Greece. So hopefully he can take his whole coach life team to Greece.
Right.
But please tell us about the food there and the culture.
So Greece, yo, Greece people are like, yo, you get around some Greece people and people from France are like this too. And that's why I think the food is good. I was just thinking about that. They are people of culture, people of color. Like they remind me of the black people in America, like the way they move. They have like a certain rhythm to the way they move, a rhythm to the way they cook, the rhythm to the way they talk. But the type of food that you would eat, like, you know, gyros, sliced beef, sliced chicken, and they just doing stuff that just works. Like they put like you'll get a pita bread, sliced beef, French fries, lettuce, tomatoes, with feta cheese. And yo, it hit. It's simple. Yo,
It's simple.
And then you can go and have like a dude did a lamb shoulder for me as well, like a lamb shank, which, you know, and he did you know, a Greek salad. And a lot of people don't know Greek salad. There's no lettuce in Greek salad. We doing Greek salad wrong out here. It's just tomato, feta cheese,
and cucumbers.
and that's it. Olive oil and olives. And you're done. And it's amazing.
Simplicity, man.
The orzo, oh man, they're all hitting me right now. The orzo rice.
Yeah.
Yo, get the orzo rice.
Two
Make
times.
Sure
you saying that like that? You like 2 times. Get that twice.
Get that twice. The orzo rice with a lamb, with a little bit of lamb. You know, and it's just like, you know, you meet people. And like I said, I'm in the kitchen. So that was a segment in our show in season 1. I would go into the kitchen. Yo, Dubai got good food too. I would go into the kitchen with the chefs, and we would share ideas. I would teach them about Cajun food, and they would tell me about, you know, where, you know, these different recipes derive from. And we would have conversations and really talk shop over cooking. And that's something that I've always done throughout my entire life. It's like we go outside and barbecue and talk shop. Yep. You know, it was just a good experience to do that with different guys from around the world.
That's dope, man. Like I said, man, I love lamb.
Yeah,
I
me too.
I love lamb, bro. I'm a huge, give me all the lamb chops,
Right.
all of them,
Yeah.
and double that Ozer rice.
Yeah,
Pick two of those.
Give me two of those. 2 point, yeah, make it a double.
There you go.
Yeah. And lamb, lamb just hit different. Like, that's another thing. When you go to these different countries eating food, you start finding your body feels different after you ingest this stuff. Like you feel a little bit lighter. It's not like, a lot of times I eat out here and I have like the beef specifically, in the United States. I wake up with heartburn. I can't really eat beef here. But if I eat beef abroad, pause. um, it my body feels different.
Much different.
Yeah,
Much
much
different.
different. Yeah.
Now we can go down this rabbit hole of you probably feel different because you don't have the added chemicals and everything else
That's what
that's
I'm saying.
probably
Yeah.
in there, right? You're getting a lot more fresher ingredients and fresher foods. Um, and like you said, it's stuff that seems very simple in a lot of the cultures that you've said you've gone to. It just seems like this is like we don't have to do a whole lot to make a fantastic meal.
Right. For sure.
What has been the most unforgettable experience you have ever had in any place you've gone to since you started this venture? I mean, something that's gonna literally that's gonna sit with you literally for the rest of your life.
Okay, I'll tell you what just happened. And the most unforgettable experience. This guy um, in South Africa. I was interviewing him about his winery, black man,
Mm-hmm.
and his mom worked on the land as basically like an indentured servant, uh, and she would force him to read every night, literally every night, uh, and he got educated in the wine industry, and people invested in him, and he bought his own wine fields. And I was sitting talking with him. We were actually eating lamb. He slaughtered 2 lambs for me. Literally slaughtered the whole damn lamb, like no, like the whole thing. He had 2 lambs out there. They were rotating. I was like, "Yo, like check this out!" Like,
Well, he killed him right in front of you, and then
no,
skewered
no, no.
him?
By the time I got out there, they were cooking already.
Okay, okay.
Because it take. I was
Wait,
probably
that's
he
really
probably had did
fresh.
this 2 days before. Because in order to cook that amount of meat, it's gonna take about 20 hours.
Right.
To cook all that meat. Um, and so we were sitting talking, and I was walking with him through his fields. And he was just a calm person, cool as a cucumber, like you said. And I was asking him, I said, how does it feel for you, to be in this position, knowing that your mom worked in these same fields?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, it's surreal to me. And I didn't even know at the time he was burying his mom Saturday.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll never forget this. And I almost broke down in tears for him. And I told him, I was like, yo, I'm proud of you because, this is, the ultimate thing is to make your mom proud. That's my that's always been my North Star was if I can't do it in front of my mom or my pops, I'm not doing it. And the ultimate thing is just to make them proud. And that's like my driving force to be all that I can be in life. It's just to make them proud. It's always been my North Star. And so I wanted to tell you, if no one's told you, I'm proud of you for making your mom proud.
Sometimes people need to hear that, no matter who it comes from, right? Like sometimes you need that little pat on the back
For
to
sure.
say that you're moving in the right direction.
All right.
So, Colin, this we've gotten real deep into world of travel, what's led there, and where it's currently at. And now I want to ask the question that it wasn't always peachy, right?
Mm-hmm.
What were some of the stumbling blocks that you came across that one you didn't see, but how did you overcome it? And How'd you stay focused? You know, you talked about that North Star, but that North Star sometimes ain't always as bright as it needs to be. Sometimes it's super cloudy. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. So, you know, like I said, we were reacting to what's in front of us. And so the reaction took us to South France. We were at MIPCOM, which is an unscripted TV festival in South France. And my first time ever doing something like this. And a lot of times what I deal with internally is like how people look at me. How when I approach white people, are they thinking like, are they racist? Are they scared of me because I'm a big black guy? You know, how they feel, you know, me trying to make them feel comfortable because I'm from out here again. And so when I was approaching these different people, because I walked into this place, it's like Walmart or something bigger than Walmart, like a mall, full of booths of different channels and different networks. It's the ultimate mixer, like the ultimate mixer. And so what I did was I had to get over my fears, and I walked to each booth and introduced myself. Say, hey, I'm Kolyn. I really didn't even have my pitch together. And I said, Kolyn, I got a World of Travel show. And my voice was a little light at first. And then, hey, I'm Kolyn. I got a World of Travel show. You know, we talk about this. And by the end of that second day, I had my pitch together and I was ultimately confident. Even though people were turning me away and they were acting racist. They were looking at me crazy. They were like, you know, people would be like, oh man, you're doing this all wrong. You have to set up a meeting. I'm just looking at them like, yo, I'm learning on the fly. I don't know. I'm just literally reacting right now. Y'all in front of me. I'm here. I paid to be here. And I just want to introduce myself. Right. And when they would act like that, I was like, well, look, can I get your card? And they would give me their card. And so I got back from MIPCOM and people told me travel shows are too expensive. That's what they were telling me. Travel shows too expensive. We're not into travel. That's when I learned how to approach different channels. Because we say, well, we don't even do shows like that. You know, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? So when I got back from MIPCOM, I had 300 cards in hand. And I started emailing everybody. And I put an email pitch together. And we had exhausted every avenue. We thought the show wasn't going to happen. You know, Lindsay didn't even want to do it anymore. She was like, yo, we gotta get, the bills gotta get paid. So we gotta get to work. And I was like, you know, again, I'm from Beaumont. Like, we're gonna figure this out. We gotta figure this out. I've been in these situations before. It's okay. So I started emailing everybody. I emailed everybody. And people again ignored the emails. People told me no. Some people were nice enough to give me information and point me in the right direction. One channel reached out to another channel and told them they were looking for me, looking for a travel show, and that's the type of content that they wanted. And you know, that's how I got in with Insight. But I could have just went back to work. I could have went back and started doing insurance again. But I was like, yo, I was dying a slow death. I'm not going back to die. And so I just figured this out. I said right here in this room, and I figured it out. Matter of fact, that's what I did. I painted this room, painted it black, and I painted, I come over here, check my emails. I paint a little more, come back and check my emails. And I was up all night because, you know, they're 8 hours ahead in Europe. Because and that's another thing I had to find out was everybody in the US would tell me no. So I had to broaden my horizon. And so now I work with a company in Amsterdam. And that's what Insight is located.
That's dope. That's dope. It took one.
The story reminds me of like the ambition and just like it is childlike faith when you think about it, because you were like, I'm not taking no for an answer.
It's not,
you know what I'm saying? It reminds me so much of Kanye. How Kanye went ahead and did everything like, bro, I'm just gonna keep driving these beats. I'm gonna keep driving it, and I'm gonna keep doing it until I'm not accepting no as an answer. You know what I'm saying? And that's, man, that takes a lot of nuts, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well,
Again,
it was built into him because he told us how his parents groomed him.
Yeah.
Even if you know
Smoke that life
Kanye's
into
story, Kanye's mom was like that. Kanye's mom was friends with No ID's mom.
Mm.
So she introduced Kanye to No ID, which y'all don't know. So another big producer from Chicago. And the same type of vibe is it kind of started at home, man. You gotta build these beliefs into your child. Like
Right.
I'm still hooked on the beginning of this interview, dog. You was making 30 bands and
And said, no, bro, this ain't it.
I
This
know
ain't it.
we don't went an hour into this. I'm still hooked on the 30 bands.
Yeah.
Man,
But that go to show you, and really what I'm like in hearing you speak, it makes sense to me for you. But I
Hmm.
just think about the larger percentage of adults that wouldn't dare step away from that bread.
mhm.
Yeah.
They would keep making that bread, and they'll get this little itch for something they are passionate about, it. They'll let the money hook them. And so many people, and it take me back to, and we all heard this before, take me back to a lesson that we probably all heard talking about coaches like, yo, don't chase the bread,
Yeah.
chase the passion. The
Mhm.
money will come. You know what I'm saying? And you trusted that process the whole time. And I love it. And even fast forward to what you just talked about at this mixer, I mean, 300 contacts. I don't think y'all understand. Like, like to go through all of that, that can deflate anybody,
Yo.
anybody. And then your lady was ready to build. You was like,
Nah.
nah.
It's like this, we too deep now.
Even though 30 bands was in your past,
Mhm.
even with the comfort of that, and that's like true passion to me. It's like that wasn't even
Mhm.
comfortable.
Yeah.
The comfort was in the dream, the passion. And that's amazing to me that you stay consistent and persistent and told yourself to face your fears going in front of all those people. Like you could have easily ended day one.
Yes.
But you said you went in, I went in another day,
Hmm.
kept going, built up from there, kept hearing no, but you got some stuff from me. Because you said some people started at least, they're saying no, but at least giving you some information though,
A
right?
little bit of information here and there.
So you are still learning even with the no's, you gained information that help you. Man, I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
I tell you guys another story. So they would have like so at these shows or at these festivals, they would have like producers hubs where you could go learn. Another thing I did, I went, and it's so important for guys to go and seek out information. Like you gotta educate yourself. And so I would go to all these different um shows where they tell you about the different type of shows they want to buy. And they had one that was called a producers hub where they sit you around the table with 8 different producers and one acquisitions leader. And they were sitting there, and all of them were talking over my head and making me feel little. And I knew they were doing it on purpose. And I could have got mad right there, and I could have got up and left. I thought about it. But what I did was I started writing down the words they were saying. And I just made a list of the words. And after I left, I figured out what they were talking about. I started Googling all the words. And I knew I had all the information that they were talking about right afterward. That's how I found out about acquisitions. That's how I found out about uh, getting a show commissioned. That's how I found out about how different shows want to be licensed and just the different terminologies. And I applied that when I got back home in that email. And I was talking about, I want to get my show commissioned. I need to speak with your head of acquisitions. I want
Man,
show licensed. And then they had a feeling of, okay, he knows what he's talking about. And
Man,
so
Mhm.
you have to kind of pick, your battles. And so I took that loss and it
dog,
led to another win.
Man,
bro, what's
bro,
crazy
that's
about
awesome.
that? The version of you before that panel
Yeah.
wouldn't have let you, if you would have sent those emails before you went into that panel, you would have been
Yeah.
like, man, y'all know I don't want to. If you weren't humble enough to like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know.
Right.
You took that information, then you showed yourself as the version that needed to be to send those emails so that you can go through those doors, boy. Man, that's crazy, bro.
So Coach Luna, what you're saying is he had to hear all of these no's because those no's built up to that one yes.
But the beauty of that, bro, is bro never stopped trying to learn. Even though I'm in the room with these guys, I know what I don't know.
Yep.
And that's the true essence of pursuing. Yeah, and it's the true essence, it's the true measurement of a wise man is I know what I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And that requires a lot of, you got to work on yourself and be like, all right, okay, now the next time I will know what I need to know.
Right.
I'm not taking no as that answer, bro. Man, that's good.
If anybody has learned anything in the past hour of this podcast that we've been going, the one thing that I know I've taken away from your story and what you've done to get to where you are today is that patience is so key.
Right.
Is major key. Because the fact that you were in the room with those individuals, that could have been enough for some people.
Right.
Oh, I was just there. Oh, I went to this conference and I got a contact. I got some contacts. Like, no, bro. Like, everything that you've told us today, like, that wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Like, that's not enough, right? Like, that's just dope to continue to push and learn and push the boundaries that, again, a lot of us would have just said, you know what, I'm not gonna make it. So let me go back to what I can do.
Faith and focus, dog.
Yeah,
faith
man.
and focus.
Man, there's a whole lot of bars in this story,
Facts.
man.
Facts.
Faith and focus, pride to the side, and practice humility. God all up in this piece right now.
Facts.
And I want to just say, I know you guys are deep in the church. I grew up in the church. And that's one thing I think the church did for me as a man is I understand faith and I don't question things. I don't question why people do things because my faith is in a higher power. And I know I have no control. I can't control the next man. I can't control the next woman. I can't control my situation right now, but what I can control is what I'm going to do.
There it is. There it is. And that's the reason why all the doors have been opening for you. And I hope and pray, which I know I shouldn't say no hope. I know and continue to pray that more doors open for you, that more success happens for you, because that is truly inspiring. Because again, to get to where you are today, again, this is no small feat.
Thank you. I'm praying for you guys as well. I really appreciate that.
What is the ultimate version of World of Travel TV for you, like in the next 5-10 years? I know you told us season 2 is coming. You said that's going to be a banger.
Yes.
What else you got in store for us?
So, World of Travel is just a piece of the puzzle. I know you saw when I got on, we have Gilded Focus. Gilded Focus is my production company's name, and it's and Gilded. You guys have heard of the Gilded Age of the United States? Mm-hmm. The Gilded Age basically structured what the United States is today. And there was a lot of hard work involved. There was a lot of luck, being in the right place at the right time. And I think that's kind of our story. Hard work, luck, and basically getting things done and setting up the structure for big things to come. And so we are getting set up to build a lot more shows and folding other projects into our umbrella and under our umbrella, and just basically helping people put their shows on different channels and networks and using that information I have to get people where they need to be. And also perfecting my craft as a director and a producer. And ultimately, I would love to pivot into doing scripted shows and movies. and doing stuff like Black Panther over here and telling different stories. A dream of mine is to do um, a movie about a black emperor from Greece, a Greek black emperor. He was the last emperor, uh, and he actually built London. He actually organized the gates around London to protect them of what the territory of London is today. It's a really great story. A lot of people don't talk about. But yeah, that's what I ultimately want to do. I want to do a scripted movie.
Oh, I'm telling you right now, bro, there ain't no limit.
There's no limit.
You've already conquered the biggest thing that majority, 95% of people have, and that's faith.
Yeah.
Blind, just go.
Just go.
And that blind ambition of just going, man. And you keep applying that, bro. Literally, man, everything that you want, it's gonna come straight to you. It's already happening, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know you said you want to get into more of like the scripted, more scripted things and more scripted shows. Can you tell us a little bit about your work with Dear America? With Dear America?
Okay, with Dear America. So Dear America, Dear America is a documentary, and they were basically following uh, women in America and how they have influenced the black vote and how they've taken care of um, basically the liberal side of things. And so they approached me and they wanted me to help out with some cinematography work. And I helped them out. And that is coming out here soon.
I got a chance to see that, not obviously see it because I haven't seen it because it's not out yet. But I saw that as something that one of your projects you were working on. And I was like, that's insane. Like, how do you find the time to juggle all these projects or these major projects right now,
I
especially
just
with all the
go.
travel?
Yeah, I just go. I mean, actually, I filmed that in New York while I was traveling. I was in New York. I was doing my thing, and my cameras go where I go, and so I'm never not ready. And so, like, they asked for me to do it. And I filmed that. I filmed it, and I helped them out, and in exchange, they gave me those credits. And now, it's again being humble. Like, they didn't even pay me for that, to be honest. But I was like, yo, this is a great opportunity. Um, and I want to help out. And this is important. This is an important story. And that kind of is like what I want to, kind of what I want to do. I want to tell stories that are important, that have, a deeper meaning. And so that's aligns with what I want to do. Helps me, helps them, so that's what that was about.
There's a young 18-year-old out there right now that's listening to this podcast right now that's confused, that doesn't know exactly what they want to do, just got out of high school and they're like, I don't know what I really want to do. I don't know really what I want to, where I want to go, but I want to feel fulfilled. I want to have that same type of feeling that I just heard from Kolyn. Like, how do I find that same type of inspiration, the same type of feeling? What would you tell that 18-year-old?
You need to do, yo, that's what I tell everybody. Everything that has happened for me has been a direct product of hard work. I found my journey in hard work. And so as long as you are working hard and doing the right thing, you're on the right path. And your path will show itself to you. And that's exactly what happened to me. I was working hard. I wanted to travel. I worked hard on travel and I became a director, literally, and now I can look back at those moments and see, you know, I was just busting my ass and things worked out for me.
Yeah. What is the major legacy that you want to leave behind? Not just for the show, but for anyone that, looks at your body of work as a whole? Like, what's the legacy that you want to leave behind for not just yourself, not just for, you know, your for your wife, but also for your daughter? Like, what's that legacy look like for you?
So of course I want to have a legacy of success, a legacy that, you know, helps pay, you know, what everybody wants, you know, money for their kids, generational wealth. Of course I want that. But I had a lot of time to think about this. Luna and myself, we just had a friend of ours that passed away last year. And I was at his funeral and I was seeing everybody like that was talking about him and how they were talking about him, about type person he was. Uh, and I just want people to be in my funeral and say, and talk about how I helped them, how I affected them as a person, how I was nice, how I would go out my way to do things for them. And I just want that legacy and my story to be told to my grandkids and their kids of the type of person I was.
Oh man, Coach, I'm I'm inspired. I'm inspired right now. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like I can go build a boat right now. Just like
Just do it.
just
do
do
it,
it,
dog.
man. You put on the Nike swoosh right now, bro. I can go do anything right now. Like again, it is really and I don't think again, and I hope you have people around you, which I know you do, that are telling you this on a regular basis, man. Like it is truly inspiring to hear your story, to hear where you are, to hear where you're going and what you want to do, not just for yourself and your family, but for everybody. Like the one thing is there's been a common theme that I've heard from you this entire time, and it's finding a way to get things done, putting the pride aside and figuring out a way to help people. Like you figure out a way to piece all those things together where some of us are still struggling to just do one of those things, right? Like you figured out a way to juggle. You got all you've been in the circus. You seen the guy with all the spinning plates and everything like that. I look at that as you, bro. Like I see that as you. Like you the guy that has all the spinning or all the spinning basketballs, right? At all at the same time. Like you figured out a way to navigate the waters in a way where success is success is the only option. Like that's it. There's nothing else that is gonna, you know, get in the way. And whatever else is in the way, like you figured out ways to move those things aside. And it is extremely inspiring to see that and hear that. And even if, I'll just say it for myself. And I'll use the example. I'll use kind of my situation right now or what I'm doing right now. I'm traveling for work and I was asked to travel to do something that in my opinion I was like, am I the right person to be doing this? There was a lot of doubt. A
Yeah.
lot of doubt. And you know, if I'm the right person to do this, can I make these kind of changes? Can I do some of these type of things? And one thing that I'm so grateful for, um our family here, our Coach Life fam here, we have a a Bible in the Bible app. We're doing, you know, a couple, you know, plans, Bible plans together, and something came up in one of the Bible plans, and it just really just stuck out on faith, right? Like again, we use Jesus in the boat, right? Jesus in the back of the boat, laying down sleep. Water's getting rough, sea's getting rough, everything's getting rough, everybody freaking out, but Jesus is calm and asleep in the back. And I think it was Peter or Paul, which help me, one of y'all. I know y'all, one of y'all know.
It's
Peter.
Peter.
It was Peter went to the back of the boat and asked Jesus, like, you know, don't you care, essentially. Jesus woke up and told him, you know,
Told the
seas and the
waters and
waters to
the
be still. And it's not the fact that he told him that. Let's rewind, right? To when they were in the boat and everything was going crazy, right? Like the fact that he's in the boat with you and you still have that same type of fear, you still have that same type of, you know, and you know, you're still scared, like you really don't know that you can do what do the impossible, right? Listening to your story, Colin, like it shows that like you had, like Coach Luna said, that unwavering faith. Like this is going to happen. If it doesn't happen, there's it just there I can't even phantom it. It's not happening. Like that didn't even it didn't even come up in this conversation that we just had. So I know it didn't come up in the in your mind. I feel like this was always something where you always felt like I'm going to make it and he's gonna help me get there. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like you were that guy that was sitting that storm on the boat with Jesus in the back, like, well, he back there, we good.
We good.
Let's keep going.
Exactly.
Like, hey, we good.
Exactly. Yo, and I can't stress enough how important it is for me to hear that. Because you know, I have a lot of patience. I have a lot of drive. I got a lot of things. But I'm still a man. And I need to hear this stuff because I get tired. You know, I'm not strong all the time. But I know I got my kid looking at me and I got my lady looking at me. And I have to be a rock. I have to be an immovable object. And so it's great when I can get with like-minded people who are going through these same things and having these same challenges in life. And we can have conversations where we could just purge, you know, really put everything out on the table. And this is what I went through, and these are the feelings I felt. And I went through, you know, Nipsey Hussle talked about it. I went through every emotion everybody went through. And I literally did. You know, I was sitting down here and trying to figure out how I was going to pay for my mortgage. But again, you know, I'm rooted in the church and I'm rooted in faith. And that's my baseline. And so everything in front of me can be accomplished, can be done with hard work. And so I'm just going to continue to work hard. And I want you guys to do the same because, you know, you guys have a good system here. And I see your podcast doing great things.
Man, we all appreciate that and
Facts.
all appreciate that because like you said before, man, iron sharpens iron. It's the only way that we get better, man. We got to be around people that understand the struggle and understand those small things that some people think are small. These are major things that if you stay focused on these pieces, right? Keep getting these no's, eventually gonna get the yes. And me and Luna talk about this all the time, man. It takes one.
It does.
Literally takes one, bro. And you are definitely a testament to that. So closing remarks before we get out of here. Because I don't want to keep it too much longer, bro. We almost hitting an hour and a half right now.
Okay. Closing remarks. I want to tell you guys where you can watch World of Travel. How about that? Tell you guys where you can watch World of Travel. So World of Travel is on Insight TV. It's in 56 countries, 176 territories. And where you can watch it at in the United States is, let me get to it. Fubo TV, Jukian Media, LG Channel Plus, Local Now, MX Player, My Bundle TV, Rockbot, Video Elephant, Samsung Mobile, Samsung TV Plus, Sinclair, Stir, TCL, Verizon Media, Vizio, Sling Comcast, and Cox. That's where you can watch the first season of World of Travel.
I'm so glad I didn't get rid of my Sling.
And really, hopefully you guys enjoy the show. Hopefully you learn from it. You see places that you want to go to, different hotels that you would like to stay, different types of food. And, you know, if you don't want to go to these places, you can just live through me. I'm going through the painful task of dragging my bags on the airplane, dragging them off, checking into a hotel, packing, repacking. And it's funny. It's informative. And it's a Black family.
Man,
you know what I mean? So that's
we
what I
need
would.
more of us out there doing that.
Yes.
Coach Luna.
Man, sticking out like a sore thumb, man. You know, fear is just faith contaminated. And I don't want to steal that like it's my quote. That's actually a quote that my pastor talks about all the time. And man, your whole testimony, bro, is very eye-opening because some of the most successful people that I know within my circle and people that I have I'm fortunate to call my friends, they had that same drive, that same exact drive, man. It's a characteristic, and it's a built-in confidence, it's a faith, it's a I'm going to be good. And, Steve, the way you put it with, the parable, well, it wasn't even a parable, it was what was happening on the boat. And that's just a perfect example of it. Like, I'm on this boat, everything is going on, but I have him with me, period. Period. And if anybody can take anything from this pod, I really do believe that this is just a giant testimony of faith. And man, Kolyn, I appreciate it, man. I really do.
Thank you.
Blessing to have on the pod, man.
Thank you.
Coach Wash?
This man walks away from 30 bands a month.
Hey, bro, you still on hour one?
I'm still in the first 5-10 minutes of the show. Hey, once again, it's not even the money. You know what I'm saying? It's the because just most of y'all wouldn't do that. Most of us would not do that. And you had me reflecting. I'm like, man, it's definitely some bread I wish I walked away from some years ago that distracted me and deterred me from the path that I've taken forever to just focus on. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you know, and you just can't question it, man. You got to go for it. Don't worry about the how. Like, most of us know we have an innate feeling of like what we called to do. And if you get caught up in dollar signs, you can easily get distracted. What they say that the love of money is the root of all evil. And in this situation, it really is. If he would have just stuck with that bread, he wouldn't be where he at today.
Right.
So everybody should think about that in their own lives and like just trust your passion. Go full throttle, fifth gear, put the pedal to the floor.
Go.
And have faith. Like Coach Nona said, like you just gotta believe. We gotta believe, man. With no doubt. And it's things gonna happen. You gotta bring it back to base though. Remember your purpose.
And you know what? Like, it's like, again, like, it's like literally God talks to you. It's signs. Like, and it may not be, a lot of people have like God came to me. Like, I'm working on my story, my God came to me story, like everybody has. But but like God talked to me through the way my body felt, through my relationship I had with my lady and my child. I wasn't the person who I am. I wasn't nice. I wasn't pleasant. And God spoke to me through my actions. And so I just had to take a step out of my body and see, I was killing myself. I wasn't living a happy life. Yeah, I had money to buy cool stuff, but it wasn't who I am as a whole. It wasn't me. It wasn't Kolyn. And so that's how I knew to, I needed to pivot and do something else that was not just fulfilling as saying I'm a director, but like just to get back to who I am as a person.
Right, man. Again, bro, it's been a blessing to have you on the pod. I'm excited to have you back on again when you got some free time to carve out for us and have another one of these powwows with us, bro. I'm excited to hear about season 2. I'm excited to hear about what's to come and what else, hell, when other channels you gonna be on, so I can make sure I can buy those too.
No, I appreciate the support for real, because that's how we keep that's how we keep going and be able to create content, because it takes an army in order for us. And a lot of people, like, I was telling Lindsay this the other day. Guys, sometimes people have a problem with being number two.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's been a lot of times in my household where I was number two to a lady. You know what I'm saying? And literally, like my ego, I could not let that get in the way of the vision. And so, like, it takes all of us, and your time is coming. You know, you got to understand that. You know, we got a lot of days here. We got a lot of time, you know, and you don't know where your blessing's going to come from. But you got to put that foot forward and be humble, and God sees everything.
Yeah,
Would you guys, I got a question for y'all. Would y'all walk away from from what you're doing now to do this podcast full time?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would do it in a heartbeat. It's because of the effect that this pod has had on me personally, spiritually, mentally, physically, and the effect I've seen it have, not just on my family, but the people around me. Like I'm like you said it takes an army, right? It takes a village of people to get this where it needs to get to. And I've watched people rally around and want to be around the Coach Life podcast, you know, radio. Like they want to be around this. So the fact that, you know, they see three brothers on here that put God first, that put their passions out there, that put their, you know, put everything out there.
Yeah.
I think it opens the door for a lot of people to learn how to be vulnerable and start going and attacking the dreams that they really want. So, absolutely, bro. Like, absolutely.
Well, I'm definitely a fan now. I mean, I feel like a part of the family, so I'm definitely gonna be tuning in. Is it like every week or
Yeah.
every week? Okay. All right. Cool.
Oh yeah. You don't got a choice now. You definitely part of the fam now.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice,
Line and
brother.
sinker.
All right.
We got you, bro. You in the net.
Let me know. I'll definitely do it again. Just let me know whenever. This is actually, I mean, like I said, it's therapeutic for me. So
Therapy for us every week, bro. Every week.
Thanks.
Every week. Again, man, we thank you so much for being on the podcast. It was a massive blessing to have you on the podcast. Again, if you like what you heard, please hit that like and subscribe button if you want to hear more from your Coach Life fam. Again, pick up that merch. You got some new merch coming. Coach Wash ain't give me mine yet, but we got some new merch coming.
It's on the way.
It's on the way.
Speaking of merch, this is my new brand, right? World of Travel. World of Travel hoodies.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Built for travel, so you could go to sleep on a plane.
Yeah.
I'll show y'all the back.
Oh yeah.
Just don't wear a white one.
right.
Not in that Bible belt. Okay?
Exactly.
Don't wear that in that Bible belt now.
Makes sense, yo.
That's
Love
clean.
it. Real
That's
clean.
Hey, I do.
Man.
I ain't talked to the owners or nothing like that, but I do want to shout them out. Y'all probably seen Reborn Kings. I tried out some of these shirts. I love it. I'm repping all day, every day.
I like that. God did
it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got a few
now and forever.
Yes, sir.
Man, well, when Coach Wash decides to post the rest of his merch, then we'll definitely make sure it's in the link in the bio.
Hey, hold on.
You got some new stuff for us, bro?
You can't see it on the screen.
We got new paint.
Wait, what was that?
I'm wearing the sweats right now.
I can't get it. Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah.
It's fire.
We got the gold tips on the drawstring. You know,
You can see it. Yep. I got on the same thing, bro. Like, yep. Coach Life, yep. Got mine on too. The one pair that you gave me.
I'm glad you stood up too. Why you acting like you ain't got no gear?
I got gear, but I'm just saying I just need more. You want me? I'm trying to push it, bro. I'm trying to push it right now, man. Everything counts.
Look, I was telling Luna too. However I can be assistance to you guys, let me know. I've been, like I said, I built podcasts. I'm on my camera right now. I can tell you what kind of camera to get, what type of different equipment you could get, to where I can help you guys get your production on another level, and that's my gift to you.
Definitely appreciate it, brother. Definitely appreciate it. Again, at the beginning of this pod, we said we're gonna learn a lot from you, brother. A whole lot from you. And you did not disappoint. Not in the least bit. Again, if you like what you heard, smack that like and subscribe button if you want to hear more from your Coach Life fam. Until the next time, family, stay positive, my friends.
30 bands.
30
30
bands.
bands.